Jamuz, the head of international law at Stoke White, joins me now. Hakan, good to have you on the program with us. Let's begin with the obvious question. Why has it taken the UAE so long to make a decision on repatriation?
That's because this whole deal that was struck between US and the UAE, we don't know the details of. However, what it ended up being is UAE basically continued the incarceration and detention of these people who are not deemed to be any further danger to US. Although we know, although most of these people were detained completely illegally in Guantanamo in the first place, they were basically fobbed off to UAE and their authorities in Dubai, where we don't even know in which prisons they were kept, but they were kept in prisons completely legally. They were not fulfilled the part of the deal that UAE said they would do, i.e. release them into society, etc., etc. Now they're forcing them to go back to Yemen, which is illegal. And if they actually carry this out, there will be litigations of their actions.
So what can be done to stop the UAE from sending them back?
Well, at the moment, there is nothing we can do. Most of the families can't even reach out to their relatives in those prisons where they're held in UAE. But if they actually carry out what they allege that they will carry out, i.e. bring these people into Yemen, then we will be able to actually continue helping the families with legal cases against UAE, because this will be a litigation matter. Why? Because what they would do is illegal in international law, because that will be forced migration. They just can't do it. And it's part of the deal that actually said to US that they would hold these people and integrate them into society. That was the part of the deal of releasing them from Guantanamo in the first place. So I can foresee litigation cases being taken against UAE for doing what they do. But they feel they're impune. They have the impunity to do what they like to do. And so let's see if UAE authorities actually carry out this news that they're going to take these people into Yemen. We don't know where they're going to be in Yemen. We don't know to which group in Yemen they're going to release them to. We have no information about their plans. But if they actually carry it out, then this will be a complete breach of international law.
Yeah, and that's the big concern, because litigation is one thing, but if the UAE is determined that they can't stay in the country and does send them back to Yemen, what could potentially happen to these men? And is there any possible recourse?
Well, the part of the agreement UAE signed and took these people into the country in the first place, well, for them to be integrated into society. What does that mean? That means they were not supposed to send back to Yemen, and that was the deal. But they obviously have not fulfilled that. Now they're trying to go back on their contractual duties to US, I'm sure that's what they've signed. But at the same time, they're going back on their words. A typical behavior from UAE authorities, to be honest with you, that they're not going to carry out what they were obliged to do. So they should be kept in Dubai and integrated into life. But if they're sent back to Yemen, it's quite likely that we will lose these people. And if that happens, then that's obviously a massive breach of their rights.
Yeah, it's very concerning. All right, Hakan Jamuz, head of international law at Stoke White, thank you so much.